A new terror stalked the battlefields. They were the assassins. The word assassin echoes through history. It evokes images of shadowy figures, silent and deadly. They were the Nizari Ismailis, a Shia Muslim sect. Their enemies called them Hashashin, meaning hashish eaters. The assassins thrived in the chaos of the Crusades. They were masters of fear. Their targets were rarely common soldiers. They aimed for the powerful. Their sudden and brutal attacks left a lasting impression. The Crusaders were terrified. The assassins were like phantoms. They vanished as quickly as they appeared, leaving only death in their wake. Their existence cast a shadow over the Holy Land. The assassins were not mindless killers. They were driven by a powerful ideology. They believed in a radical interpretation of Islam. At their head was a charismatic leader. His name was Hassan-i-Sabbah. He was a scholar and a warrior. He transformed the assassins into a formidable force. Hassan-i-Sabbah taught his followers absolute obedience. He convinced them that he held the key to paradise. To reach this paradise, they were willing to sacrifice everything, even their lives. This made them incredibly dangerous. They did not fear death. They embraced it. Their motives were often political. They sought to destabilize their enemies. They would eliminate rivals. They would silence opposition. Their methods were brutal but effective. A well-placed assassination could bring down an empire. Their beliefs set them apart from other warriors. They were not driven by greed or glory. They were driven by faith. This made them both fascinating and terrifying. They were a reminder that belief can be a powerful weapon, even more powerful than any sword. High in the Alborz mountains of Persia lay Alamut. This fortress was more than just stone and mortar. It was a symbol of the assassin's power. Perched atop a craggy peak, it seemed impregnable. From here, Hassan-i-Sabbah commanded his deadly followers. Alamut was a fortress of secrets. Hidden passages and secret gardens lay within its walls. Legends whispered of its beauty. It was said to hold a paradise on earth, a taste of the paradise that awaited the assassins in the afterlife. The fortress's strategic location made it almost untouchable. It commanded the surrounding valleys. Enemies would be spotted long before they reached its walls. This gave the assassins a crucial advantage. They could choose when and where to strike. Alamut was a place of learning and training. Hassan-i-Sabbah gathered the best minds of his time. Scholars, philosophers and military strategists flocked to the fortress. Under Hassan-i-Sabbah's guidance, they honed their skills. They prepared for the missions that would spread terror across the land. Becoming an assassin was no easy feat. It was a demanding and brutal process. Only the most dedicated were chosen. Boys, often kidnapped or bought from impoverished families, were brought to Alamut. Their training began almost immediately. They were subjected to intense physical and psychological conditioning. They learned to fight with a variety of weapons. They became masters of disguise and infiltration. Their bodies were honed to peak physical condition. They could scale walls and disappear into crowds. But physical prowess was not enough. The assassins needed unwavering loyalty. They were taught to believe in Hassan-i-Sabbah's divine authority. They were promised paradise if they died in his service. This created a fanatical devotion. One of the most enduring legends of the assassins involves drugs. It was said that they were given hashish to induce a state of euphoria. This euphoria was meant to mimic the pleasures of paradise. While the use of drugs is debated by historians, it added to the mystique surrounding the assassins. The assassins were masters of their craft. They planned their attacks with meticulous care. They would often spend months observing their target, learning their routines, their weaknesses, their vulnerabilities. They would choose the time and place of the attack carefully. Their methods were as varied as their targets. Sometimes they would strike in broad daylight, a public execution designed to send a message. Other times, they would operate in the shadows, a whisper of a blade in the night, leaving no trace behind. Their weapons were simple but effective. The dagger was their preferred tool, silent, deadly, and easily concealed. They were also skilled with poisons. A single drop could be enough to dispatch an enemy. The impact of their assassinations was often profound. The sudden removal of a powerful leader could throw a region into chaos. Armies would crumble, alliances would fracture. The assassins understood the power of fear. They used it to devastating effect. The assassins' reputation spread like wildfire. Tales of their exploits were told and retold, often embellished. They became legends. Some dismissed the stories as propaganda, others believed them to be real. One myth involved the leap of faith. Hassan-i-Sabbah would drug his followers and take them to a secret garden. This garden was said to be paradise. Followers were told they had experienced paradise and would return if they served faithfully. To prove loyalty, they were commanded to leap from the walls. Survivors were the chosen ones. This story illustrates the power of the assassin legend. The truth was likely more nuanced. They were skilled warriors and strategists. Driven by faith and pragmatism, they were not monsters, they were men, driven to extremes by turbulent times. The reign of terror of the assassins was not to last. In the 13th century, a new power emerged from the east. The Mongols, led by Hulagu Khan, swept across Asia. Their armies were vast and unstoppable. Alamut, once thought impregnable, fell to the Mongol onslaught. The fortress was razed, its library burned, the assassins were scattered, but their legend lived on. The word assassin became synonymous with political murder. Their story continued to fascinate historians and storytellers alike. They appeared in literature, video games, and films, often depicted as shadowy figures lurking in the background of history. The assassin's story is a reminder of the power of belief and the fear that can grip the hearts of men. They remain a shadowy and enigmatic presence in history. Their true motivations and beliefs may remain forever shrouded in mystery. But their legacy, like the whisper of a dagger in the night, continues to resonate through the ages.